Hello everyone, AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink, and I finally got my hands on the Simon Says Stamp My Kind of Peep stamp set and the coordinating dies. A wonderful person sent me the March card kit, so I am going to try and crank out a few cards using these supplies because I have been wanting them, and it was a whole long story why I didn't get my hands on it. But anyway, to start off with, I'm using the Simon Says Stamp, the Peeps background stamp, and I'm using my Misty, which is somewhat redundant. You don't need the Misty for something like this. I had it sitting here and just felt like I was just playing around. So I am stamping it onto a piece of Tim Holtz Distress watercolor cardstock. I had it smooth side up and I had coated the cardstock with the anti-static powder tool. And then I inked up that background stamp with Versamark ink and stamped it onto the cardstock. And then I'm coating that with some iridescent, like clear iridescent sparkling embossing powder. So again, I'm totally experimenting here, and like I've told you guys, I think quite a few times, I don't have the luxury of being able to experiment and make cards and then film, the perfect card. I just do what I can and share what I've done along the way, and we just go with it. So you get to see it in all its glory and mistakes and the messes I make and all that kind of stuff, because it is what it is. So anywho, I showed the new Distress crayons in a recent haul video. Lots and lots of buzz about these. This is only the second time using them. The first time I used them, I actually haven't uploaded that video yet. I haven't had a chance to edit it. What I did here was just scribbled all the colors from the Brights pack onto my nonstick craft sheet. And I'm just picking them up with a watercolor brush and then coloring it onto the background here. These aren't watercolor crayons. They are different. You can still, obviously, as you can see, you can still use them in this way, but that's not what they're made for specifically. Is like they're not watercolor crayons, but obviously they are water reactive. So I just picked it up, and it's a weird I get sort of a little bit of a weird texture because of this embossing powder I used, because it's a glitter embossing powder, so it's gritty, so it kind of made it a little more grainy too, applying the color. And again, I was just kind of experimenting just to create a fun little background. I knew it'd be more subtle too with these, and it was just fun. So I just applied all the colors, and then I used my paper towel to wipe off my water brush, which, just an FYI, a couple of the colors actually stained the water brush, which is pointless. Like, it doesn't matter. And then I just used my paper towel to rub the embossed image just to get any of the little grits of color that were stuck in the embossing. And then the crayons just wipe right off the craft sheet with a little bit of a damp paper towel there, like super simple. And I ended up cutting that down once it was dry, and then I'm using some pattern paper. It came with a kit, but it's from the Carta Bella Spring Pack. I'll try and link when I do all the links for this to everything separately, because the actual card kit itself sold out quite some time ago. So now I'm using the actual My Kind of Peeps stamp set, which I love. I don't know what it is about Peeps. I don't actually like real Peeps, like the marshmallows. To me, they're ugh, but they're so cute, and these images are adorable. So I decided to keep things easy, and since I had the distress crayons sitting here right in front of me, to color in the Peeps with the same thing. So I'm just picking up the color this time directly from the crayon with my water brush and coloring them in. Again, these aren't meant for watercoloring, so they have a more creamy texture. They're just different. So far for me, I'm having fun with them. I know their main goal, purpose, is more like mixed media. There's some amazing things people have done with them. I know I saw that video, if you haven't seen it, of Sandy Alnock did an entire Monet inspired painting with them. It was absolutely phenomenal. You guys will not be seeing anything like that from me. I have no skills that way whatsoever. This is the kind of stuff I do. So I just used the different colors and colored in each one of the Peeps. Really, really simple, no rocket science. And then there's the coordinating little die set, which, again, I love that too, because you can just die cut stuff with, you don't even have to die cut the images. You can just die cut shapes with these little guys, and they're just adorable. So die cut them all. And then I die cut some white cardstock and a piece of a vellum with my favorite things, Inside and Out Stitched Circle Stacks Dynamics. And then I grabbed a sentiment from the stamp set, and I'm inking it up with the same Simon Says stamp. This is their intense black ink. And stamping it onto that same white cardstock there, just right along the bottom. I had lined the stamp up on my grid paper so that it's straight on my block, and then it's straight when I stamp it. Saves me some time and effort. And then I'm going to trim that down with my paper trimmer. And I just use a little wire guide there to make sure I've trimmed it down evenly. And then I'm going to trim off both ends. And then as I was doing this, I was like, I want to highlight just the word Peep. So I grabbed the little mustard seed distress crayon again and picked up the color with my water brush, and then just quickly kind of went over the word Peep to kind of create like a highlight on it. And then once I did that, I grabbed my detail cutting scissors to cut each end into a flag end. So you just cut one snip right down the center, and then you cut from each corner to meet there in the center, and you've got perfect little flag ends. So super quick and simple. And then to start adhering everything together, I just applied my ATG adhesive on the back of the die cut cardstock circle, adhered that to the vellum circle, and then I'm going to flip that over and apply adhesive, making sure to only put the adhesive where the cardstock is, because otherwise you will see it through the vellum. And then I adhered that and then applied a generous amount of adhesive to the sentiment as well, because adhering over top of this type of embossing powder, where you've got that glittery, gritty texture, you got to be a little more aware of the adhesive you're using, that things are adhered well. So I did that, and then I applied adhesive to 2 of the Peeps. They're so cute. See, I could just go on about them the whole time. That's why I wanted this set so bad, because it was so cute. Anyway, after I did that, I was about to adhere the main image to the pattern paper, and because I used the distress crayons and the colors were, while they're bright, they're more subtle, I found the pattern paper was kind of competing, in my opinion, with it. So I decided to dull it down a little bit, and I cut a piece of vellum the exact same size as the pattern paper, and then made sure to apply adhesive where it will be covered by the embossed card front there. So it just dulled it down a little bit, softened that a little bit so it's not quite so bright. So yeah, did that, and then adhered the stamped and watercolored background there with some foam tape. And then I'm going to adhere that to the card base. And then because I am going all out with the glitter, I grabbed my clear Wink of Stella and coated the bunnies quite well with that. My Wink of Stella is on its last legs. It is, as of this card, it's completely empty, but I'm not throwing it out. You can actually refill it with water and repurpose it as like a water brush. And then I use my cell phone there with the flashlight just to kind of show you guys the sparkle, because it's always so hard to pick up on camera. So on the inside of the card, I inked up another sentiment from the set, the little Squishy Hugs sentiment, and then took the last 2 little Peeps that I'd colored, and I'd run out of HEG. It ran empty as I was making this card, so I just used my Tombow Mono Multi to adhere those little guys in place, and then there was just enough left in my Wink of Stella brush there, so I just used the very last of it to coat these little guys to give them a little bit of sparkle, just because I could. And yeah, that finished off the card. So super fun, super cute. As always, I will have links below the video to my blog post, links to the supplies used, links to the other cards in this series. Thank you all so much for watching, subscribing, and thumbs upping my videos. I really appreciate it. And I will see you all very soon in the next one. Bye.